Hello, world.
And we are locked in. Myself, Max Van Auken, Dave the Wave. How are you doing?
Cuzzo, you know me. Life is good. We're living the dream here at the Locked In Studios.
We really are. We got our feet up. I got my 97 Air Maxes on right now. My AirPods and my
Looking
headphones.
fresh.
The Michael Kors watch. You're looking fresh as always.
North faced out, folks.
But what impressed me the most is not what we're wearing, but what we were thinking. Because this episode is one of the most exciting ones we've ever done.
It's brilliant.
It really is brilliant.
We at the Locked In podcast, we can just talk about sports. We can talk about what happened. No, we're always thinking about the future. We're always trying to get an idea that would make you think, make you debate with your friends and family. So this is what we do. So Max, I'll give him credit where credit's due, came up with this idea. I loved it. We got into it. We spent 9 hours of researching and developing this idea. We're locked in. Cuzzo, break it down to him.
Okay, so you pretty much hit it right on the money. We like to be ahead of the curve. It's easy to talk about, James Harden traveled on that step back and talk about that game. No, let's talk about something that nobody's talking about, and then we'll see everybody talk about it after us. Let's toot our own horn here.
Copycats.
There we go. So I think, I mentioned it to Dave. He loved it. Like you said, we did our research. We have our lists now. People love lists. So we have a list of the top 20 NBA players in the world. Now, that's not the list we're focusing on. We're in agreement with that list. But what we're doing is, out of those top 20 players in the world, how many rings will they win in their career, starting right now?
Correct. This season counts, and moving forward for the next 10 NBA seasons, which player will gather more championships? What player will get more hardware? What player will define their legacy, Hall of Fame, championship rings on their finger? We're going to go through LeBron. We're going to go all through top 20. We got great players, great teammates. Cuzzo, I can't wait to get in the list. But before we get in the list, a real quick shout-out to Magna Loops. Thank you so much. Check them out at magnaloops.com or go on Facebook. You know, it's that thing. It's a blue button on your iPhone. Check them out, Magna Loops.
Yeah, they're absolutely awesome. Guys, this podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Please download, subscribe, leave a comment, 5 stars, Locked In with 2 N's, any podcast platform.
All right, Cuzzo, you want to start? Can we get into this?
Yes, we can. So first, let's just inform you of the list.
Yes, let's
The
do it.
list is LeBron James at number 1, Steph Curry at number 2, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, the Greek Freak,
Okay.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. I just wanted to show I could say the name. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Paul George, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, Kristaps Porzingis, Karl Anthony Towns, John Wall, and Jason Tatum.
God, that list is fresh.
It is.
That's hot. Okay.
And that list was hard enough to come up with. We left players out like Booker and Beal and Wall and Donovan Mitchell. So, of course, there's a lot of good players we won't be able to talk about today. But if you leave a comment and you want to hear our thoughts on those players, go right ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is guys who we think will win NBA championships. And for one, me and Max are holding ourselves accountable. You can say, everyone's going to win a championship. Everyone will have 4 rings, but it's just not how it works. Dominique Wilkinson, a great generational player for the Atlanta Hawks, never won a title. Charles Barkley, we see him on TNT, one of the funniest guys in the business, was the MVP for the Suns, played with the Sixers, joined a big 3 on the Houston Rockets at the end of his career, never won a championship. It's hard, Cuzzo.
Steve Nash.
Wow, 2-time NBA MVP.
Allen Iverson.
Never won a championship, so it's harder than you think.
Even the logo only won, I believe, 1 championship out of 9 final appearances.
He went to 7 straight finals before winning his first.
Exactly. So even though you have a stacked team, you're the best player in the league, doesn't mean you win multiple championships.
Okay.
So here we go.
Here we go. Let's go. I'll say the first name. You'll do the titles, and then I will rebuttal. I will agree or disagree, and we'll just keep going back and forth. We'll bounce it back and forth, Cuzzo.
Okay.
All right, the first name, the greatest player of our time, the best player in Max and I's eyes, the locked in LeBron James.
First of all, we already have a disagreement. Not just of our time, of all time. LeBron James. I believe now this one is tricky because we have to take in consideration free agency, their longevity in their careers, their situation, the market, everything.
Okay.
So with everything in consideration, I was leaning towards one championship. But if they land the players, a little foreshadowing there, if they land the players, I believe they will. I have LeBron James winning 2 more rings.
100% agree.
Okay.
For one, folks, like always, we did not look at his list. He didn't look at mine. We're trying to keep our list locked in. You get that wordplay, folks? I got LeBron James winning 2. 1 next year, the year after that, still in his, to me, at the end of his prime. Still, he's the best player in the league and MVP candidate. And then I have him sneaking out 1 more. Hopefully in LA, to be honest. Hopefully if they land an AD, a Durant, a Kawhi Leonard, a big-time player, I have him winning towards the end of his career. So I have him winning 2 more championships as well.
Yeah, and because they have a young nucleus, and Kuzma's proven to be a stud. So if you add a player with the young nucleus, that allows LeBron to age gracefully, as he already is doing, and it's not all on his shoulders. He has a lot more help. So, and Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka, the Lakers franchise is a very smart franchise, and they see that. They're already limiting his minutes.
Yes.
So, guys, LeBron James 2, we're in agreement.
But we're totally in agreement there, 2, and I think he wins them both in LA.
Yes.
All right.
Now, number 2, I'll say the name. You go first.
Yes.
Stephen Curry.
And it's including this year, guys.
Yes.
I have Steph Curry winning 2 more NBA championships. He's got 3. 2 more will elevate him to 5. And if you look in the all-time greats of winning 5 championships, he's in the highest of, classes, an all-timer. He's going to rival Magic Johnson when it's all said and done as the greatest point guard ever. Steph Curry winning 2 more NBA championships. And he wins it this year as a Warrior. I don't think a lot of people will argue that. He wins this one. The second one is tricky to me. The second one, he wins it as a Warrior maybe the year afterwards. Or Steph Curry, what does he do, Max, better than any person of...
Shoot.
He shoots. 4 years from now, like a Ray Allen joins a Miami Heat team or a New York Knicks team or any team, for instance, and wins another title. Steph Curry wins 2 more NBA championships.
That's probably the most probable, but I have a bold take here. He wins only 1 more. I think this year they're the heavy favorites, as they should be. We're no disagreement here. They win this year. So that's Steph Curry's 1 last ring. I think, and we'll talk about it as the list goes on, things will happen where he won't be in the ideal situation that he is in right now, and that will prohibit him to win more rings, because you and I talked about this. For one, he is injury prone, and he's been on a good streak of health, but his ankles are an issue. And as you get older, the more movement you do and more stress you put on ankles that have been hurt in the past, it typically doesn't get better. It gets worse. So, and I'm not saying he's going to have a career-ending injury. I don't want that to happen. But I will say is that Steph Curry typically will not get better with his injuries. So that's why I have him winning 1 more, and he's getting older.
Good point. Okay. Hey, so I have 2, you have 1.
Yep.
Okay, sounds great. Let's go to the next guy. He's so perfect. He's in between LeBron and Curry. He's bigger than Curry. He's almost like LeBron's stature, but he shoots like Curry. He's on the Warriors. He's already won 2 rings, 2 NBA Finals MVP. Max, how many more championships in the next 10 years does Kevin Durant win?
Okay, so now this is where you have to play in the factor. Does he stay with Golden State? Does he leave and join Dave's Knicks? Does he leave and join LeBron's Lakers? So, all things considered, I've come to the conclusion, I don't think he's going to the Lakers. I don't think he wants to play with LeBron. So that narrows it down to 2 teams in my book, the New York Knicks or the Golden State Warriors. Let's just say he stays with the Warriors. Even based off the situation that he stays with the Warriors, if the Lakers land in Anthony Davis or a big-time free agent, I have LeBron winning 2 more rings, and that has to be like somewhat current. Like, it has to be now. LeBron can't win too much later because he's too old.
Yeah.
So it has to win now. So that means if LeBron wins 2 rings now, that means Kevin Durant's 32, 33 years old, and typically people don't age like LeBron James. He's a machine. He's an Iron Man. So that means Kevin Durant, staying or leaving, I believe he only wins 1 more championship, and that's this year.
Okay, so far you got LeBron winning 2, Curry and Durant 1 each?
Yeah.
Okay. I disagree. I think he wins 2 more NBA championships. And I know maybe the 2 has just been so far my lucky number. LeBron, Curry, and now Durant. I think Curry and Durant has this shooting capability that he wins this year with Golden State. So there's the 1.
Yeah.
I think he wins another one. And there's 2 different ways, and this is why I like it with Durant. It's kind of like I'm hedging. 1, he could win it with the New York Knicks. 4 years from now, Kristaps Porzingis stays healthy, the young core, they get a good free agent, Durant goes to New York, he wins one as the centerpiece as a Knick. The MVP of the league, NBA Finals MVP, 35 years old, his last prime year. Or, when he's 38 years old, still a great shooter, he kind of joins maybe a Laker team with Anthony Davis and Ben Simmons as the best players on their team and joins them and wins a title late in his career. Once a shooter, always a shooter. Durant wins 2 more NBA championships within the next 10 years.
So now this is what I have to counter with. Kevin Durant in 4 years I don't think will be good enough to win a championship as the guy. And Porzingis is already showing signs of injury, and he's young. And I talked to Rashad Phillips about this. Typically, those young, long 7'3" guys are injury-prone. And with big men especially, you typically don't get better the older you get with injuries because of all that stress on your joints and the wear and tear.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Kevin Durant will be good enough at age 35 to put the team on his back. And there are question marks around Porzingis. And with a young team like Boston with Tatum that we'll get to, and the 76ers with Ben Simmons and Embiid, that's why I have Durant at 1.
Okay, well, let me rebuttal your rebuttal. For one, it's 2018. We see Tom Brady playing better than ever at age 41. LeBron James is going into his 3rd or 4th chapter of his career playing better than anyone in the game. I just think science and I just think health. And Kevin Durant doesn't have a lot of weight. So I think Durant has played. To me, he's a healthy player. He's had the foot injury once, and Michael Jordan got hurt for a year with the leg issue. But overall, to me, Kevin Durant is usually a healthy player. So I think he'll be okay for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. His longevity, to me, will be fine. And then with the Porzingis, in closing, Joel Embiid was hurt multiple years, skipped seasons. We would never think he would play. But now this kid, science and health and new treatments, the kid's not hurt anymore. He's played 2 full seasons. I don't want to jinx the kid by any means. We'll get to Embiid sooner or later on this list. I think he's an all-time big, great player. I think he's going to be fine.
I'll say this, though. You're comparing Kevin Durant to the 2 people who've defined age and longevity, and that's LeBron James and Tom Brady. And although it's a good point, he doesn't have as much wear and tear on his body because of that. It also can hurt him in the long run, too, because LeBron's muscles what's allowed him to stay this strong and this healthy, I could argue, because like you see quarterbacks, the bigger and stronger you are, typically you age better because you don't get broken down as easily. You're not as frail, you're not as fragile. So that's why I see your point, and it may be true, but there's also a con to it as well.
Okay, so I got Durant with 2, you have Durant with 1.
Yep.
Okay, guys, that's 3. Let's keep on going. Kawhi Leonard. He's leading Toronto to right now the best record in the East with the Toronto Raptors. He won a championship as a Spur. Max, does he win a championship in the next 10 years?
No, he does not. If he stays with Toronto, he does not win a championship. I think the 76ers are too young and too talented. I think Boston is too deep. And I think even Giannis at some point will be too talented entering his prime, and he'll be better than Kawhi Leonard. If he goes to the Clippers, because I don't believe he'll go to the Lakers, I think Anthony Davis is more probable to go to the Lakers than Kawhi Leonard is. So if he goes to the Clippers, I don't think he wins a ring because the Lakers will be better than him. The Warriors will be better than him. So I don't believe any situation he goes to other than the Lakers, he will not win a championship again.
Gosh, I agree. And the main reason why I agree is Curry, we've seen Durant, LeBron, the first three guys on our list. One word I would describe all three of them is communal. Very team-friendly. They want to join on a great roster. And I foresee Curry at the end of his career joining a championship squad team. Maybe it's the Sixers. Maybe they won 2 or 3 in a row. Curry's 16th year in the season, and he'll help Ben Simmons win another title. Like, I can see Curry putting down his ego. I don't see Kawhi Leonard doing that. I think he's more like his personality, like an Allen Iverson type, almost like a Carmelo Anthony type. Wants to win a championship, kind of wants to do it on his own.
Yep.
And when it's over, it's going to be over. I think he will end quick. He's got 4 more years of top-end basketball, so I'm not saying he's done now by any means. But winning the championship, like we said, it's hard, guys. In the next couple of years, I got LeBron and Durant and Curry winning the next couple. So Kawhi Leonard, 0 championships.
I'll even add to that. And not only his attitude and his demeanor, I'm not saying he's a bad guy by any means, but I don't even think his play allows him to win another championship because he doesn't elevate others. He doesn't pass the ball as well. So it's not, he won't elevate others like LeBron James elevates others. Like, even if he doesn't join a super team, and you could say, well, he elevates everyone around him, which will allow him to win a championship, that's not even the case in this part, too. So number 5 here, Dave, this is interesting. This is really interesting. Anthony Davis.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that he sways the East or the West. He sways. I don't see him being a Pelican forever. He is the guy to talk about. I'm interested to see. Max, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Of course, I always want to go first.
Okay,
but if we
I'll
do
pass
this,
it.
okay,
I'll
all right,
pass it
cool.
to you.
I'm taking it. I believe Anthony Davis. He signed with Clutch Sports, which is obviously LeBron's people.
Okay.
He has a house in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of teams that want him. Boston's going to want him. Pretty much every NBA team that has assets are going to be trying to make a push to get Anthony Davis. But if the Lakers can acquire him, and Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka have shown that they can do some great things by getting LeBron James, I think he will become a Laker. And while with him being a Laker, with a pretty deep roster, with LeBron James, I think he wins at least 2 championships in his career. Because that window with LeBron James will allow him to do that. So that's why I have LeBron winning 2 championships, and that's why I have Anthony Davis winning 2. Now, I'm not going to say 3 because I don't know what he can do without LeBron James and maybe other pieces. But with LeBron, I know he wins 2.
Okay. 2 is my magical number at the beginning. 2, 2, and 2 for Curry, Durant, and LeBron. None for Kawhi. So I'm splitting here, guys. I have Anthony Davis winning 1 NBA championship. And I'm kind of hedging a couple different things. For one, the guy could stay in New Orleans or just go to a franchise. What happened if Durant stays and LeBron stays, of course, as a Laker, and Anthony Davis surprises us, goes to the Knicks or goes to Washington? Just like a weird surprise, and he kind of maybe never wins one, or he does win one as the best player 6 years from now when Durant and LeBron's finally their run ends. That's an option. Of course, Boston is an option. I really think that will be the best trade asset for the Pelicans. And also, let's just call a spade here too, guys. New Orleans is in the West. Would they really want to trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers with LeBron and Kuzma saying, hey, they're literally going to lock in the West for multiple years to come? So maybe the Pelicans want to trade him to Boston, and I see him win the championship in Boston. Not multiple. I don't think Anthony Davis is a great player, but he's never been that guy who just brings in wins. He brings in points and rebounds and steals and stats, but he's had 1 playoff series. This is his 6th year in the league. Is that correct? Or 5th or 6th?
I think it's his 6th, but I think he's won 2 playoff series.
No, 1 was last year, the first one ever against Portland, when he upset the Trailblazers.
That was I thought that was the 2nd. Really? That's his 1st?
Yeah.
Wow.
Lock that in.
Wow. And they were the underdogs, too.
They were. And that was a good series by them. Rajon Rondo was playoff Rondo, and Anthony Davis was great. And I'm not trying to get anything, and hey, he might win 2. If you're right, if he goes to LA, he might win 3, Max. But I have him winning 1. That's my number for Anthony Davis. 1 NBA championship.
Okay, so we have LeBron James with 2, Steph Curry, I have 1, you have 2, I have Kevin Durant with 1, you have 2, we both have Kawhi Leonard at 0, Anthony Davis, I have 2, you have 1.
Yes, sir.
Number 6, you could take the floor at this one, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or also known as the Greek Freak.
What team does he play for, Max?
Milwaukee Bucks, I think. That's what they call him, right?
Yep. Fear the deer, but don't fear him winning championships. I have 0. Zilch. Nada. Not 1.
I'm in agreement as well. As long as he stays in Milwaukee and he keeps saying he wants to stay in Milwaukee, he doesn't win a championship there.
Aaron Rodgers, the greatest quarterback, arm, athletic ability of our generation, won 1. It's hard to win in Milwaukee. It's just a thing, guys. The NBA, especially with the Lakers creating something, I honestly think the Knicks are about to create something. The East is stacked. Boston, Toronto, Philly, trust the process. Bucks win 0.
Okay, we're in agreement.
All right, next guy on the list, James Harden, an NBA MVP. Houston had the best record last year in the whole league. This year, not so well. They came back to the pack. Right now, they're not in the Western Conference playoffs. James Harden, 32 years old, a veteran player in this league. Max, how many championships does James Harden win in the next 10 years?
0. Extremely talented. He'll go down as one of the greatest shooting guards of all time just because the pure stats that he puts up. MVP. I don't think he wins another one, Dave, and here's why. Houston, I think, saw their best days when they went against the Warriors, forced a Game 7. You can make the argument they would have won if Chris Paul was healthy, but obviously this is not the same team as last year, not the same defensively, obviously. James Harden has to be the guy. He's very ball dominant. He's very isolation oriented, and he's not the type of player who can just go to another team and just fit in the system. OKC had 3 MVPs. Obviously, they weren't all MVPs at the time. Durant, Westbrook, and Harden, and it just wasn't working. There's only one ball, and all 3 of them needed the ball. Kevin Durant's not as ball dominant, but Westbrook and Harden need the ball. And with Chris Paul aging, it's not like he can stay here with Chris Paul. So even if he stayed in Houston, he doesn't win. And even if he went elsewhere, he's not the type of guy to just spot up and shoot. He needs the ball, and he'll be getting older. So I have Harden winning 0.
All right. Surprise, surprise. I have James Harden winning an NBA championship. 1. 2 different ways, guys. 1, the Houston Rockets 2 years ago had Game 7 in their court, was up at the half, beating Golden State. I know they're having a bad year, a bad start to the year so far, but I'm not giving up on Houston. I'm not giving up on Daryl Morey, who's one of the best GMs in the business. Maybe they reboot the team in a year or 2 from now. They've been getting free agents. They have a great market in Houston, no state tax. So, 1, I'm not giving up on Houston 2, 3, 4 years from now if Golden State splits and maybe something happens bad in L.A. It's not my definite, but I'm not giving up on that. That's for 1. For 2, everything I hear about James Harden, Durant and Westbrook both like him and miss him. They were not happy when they traded him. Chris Paul likes playing with them and re-signed a deal, and he's a big-time NBA, big-money guy. People like James Harden. 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, if he has never won a championship, I think every player, Karl Malone became a Laker, Barkley became a Rocket, every player tries to sneak a championship. Ray Allen became a Heat. James Harden will jump to the Celtics, to the Lakers, to the Warriors, to the Knicks. I think James Harden, before it's said and done, will try to sneak a championship as a 6-man. I think James Harden 3 years from now to really pull the Manu Ginobili and elongate his career and make his legacy worth it. Because if you look back on James Harden 25 years from now and all these stats and points and NBA MVP, but he doesn't win a championship, he's kind of just log jammed with a lot of players. But if he wins a title, even if he's not the best player on the team, Max, and you see Harden as an NBA MVP, one of the greatest scoring guards of all time, shooting number-wise, and he's won a championship, that would be, incredible for his legacy. James Harden, to me, wins 1 NBA championship.
Okay, now, one of my favorite players, Russell Westbrook. Take the floor, Dave.
He doesn't win one.
Okay, we're in agreement. As long as now, guys, if you listen to the podcast, I'm critical of Russell Westbrook. I think he's a great guy.
You're
but
too critical on him.
I'm critical on Russell Westbrook.
He's a great person.
I don't think he will win championships. I don't think he's a winning player. I think he's more about his stats, so it's no secret here. I don't think he wins one, and you're in agreement.
I'm in agreement, and just to kind of put a bow on him, everything I said about Harden, I don't think that about Westbrook. I think he stays in OKC. Him and Paul George win a lot of games there, but they don't win a championship, and I don't foresee him going to a team to be a sixth man and to try to win a title and shoot and be a part of the team. I can see him like going to a bad roster like the Sacramento Kings and trying to say, hey, I'm the man, and not really win. So I got Westbrook winning 0.
Okay. What's next, Dave?
All right, one of my favorite players as well, Kyrie Irving. Guys, I have the T-shirt. I don't know if you ever seen it on Instagram. Kyrie Irving hits that shot on Steph Curry's mug in Golden State Game 7. Probably my most favorite NBA moment of all time. I got the T-shirt. I'm a Kyrie Irving guy. Love his game. Max, how many championships does he win? A young player on a great franchise right now in Boston. How many titles will he win for the next 10?
I think he probably leaves and goes to Brooklyn with Jimmy, and he wins 0. I think.
Wow.
Like he's the type of player who's very flashy. He gets a lot of love. He has crazy handles, arguably the greatest handling of all time in the NBA. His ball handling is ridiculous. He could shoot. He's all these things. But sometimes I get the feeling that he doesn't play well with others at times. And with him and Jimmy, they'll be talented. They'll have a great backcourt. But I don't think they'll have what it takes to beat these people with more self-awareness with a deeper roster. If he stays in Boston, that's a different story. But I feel Kyrie's more about being the man, and he's from Brooklyn. He's from the New York area.
Yep, New Jersey.
Yeah, I think he goes to Brooklyn probably with Jimmy Butler and never wins another championship.
Okay, I like that, cousin. I like your grit. I'm kind of hedging it. I'm pulling the Anthony Davis here. I think he wins 1. I think he's at the right age that him and Anthony Davis 3, 4, 5 years from now, it will really be the end, or maybe the end of LeBron and kind of towards the end of Kevin Durant's powers. So I think they will be the 10-year veterans, the 11-year veterans, exact prime. I'm hedging it. With 1, he could win 1 in Boston. For 1 with this team, or if Anthony Davis joins Boston, they win 1 together. Or if Boston doesn't work, or if you're saying he goes to Brooklyn, maybe he doesn't win 1 in Brooklyn, but the same kind of thing. Gary Payton won a championship in Miami with Shaq and Wade. Like, I can see Kyrie Irving 8 years from now being a backup point guard or a starting point guard for a really young team. How about the Lakers in 5 years when they trade Ball to get Anthony Davis and they get another great free agent and Kuzma's a stud, and Kyle Irving 6 years from now signs with the Lakers for a 1-year deal to be their starting point guard and win a title there. My point is there's multiple years left. I see 5 to 8 years from now a good window for Kyrie to steal a championship. So I got Kyrie Irving winning 1.
Okay, now this next guy, I'm a LeBron guy, and secondly, I'm a Ben Simmons guy. Dave, I think he's the next best player in the world. I can't wait to get to Ben.
Okay, we're at Ben. Behind him is Joel Embiid. So let's see where we're at on both these guys.
Okay. You want me to take the floor?
Yeah, take it forward.
Like I just said, I think Ben Simmons is the next best player in the world. I think he elevates others. I think he attracts free agents. But here's what I spoke to Dave with about, and I guess this is my first time saying it on the Locked In podcast. For 1, his mentor is LeBron James. And what has LeBron James been known for transforming this game?
Player mobility.
So I think he's the type of guy he wants to be ahead of the curve. I think he welcomes player mobility, the millennial mindset. So this is why I have him winning multiple championships. I think he may win 1 with Embiid. 1 with Embiid, just off pure talent when he enters his prime. Embiid stays healthy. But I think eventually Embiid has an ego, and I think Ben could probably say, you know what, I don't necessarily need Embiid to win a championship, and I'd rather go elsewhere and get to a better market like LA or something like that. So I have Ben Simmons winning 3 NBA championships. He's a 6'10 point guard who plays great defense and elevates others. And I'm not saying he'll ever be a great shooter, but if he develops somewhat of a jump shot, he can easily average 23 points, 11 assists, and 8 to 9 rebounds in this league while elevating others and playing lockdown defense. As a 6'10 point guard, I have Ben Simmons. He'll play on multiple teams, I think, in his career, and he'll take away 3 championships.
Wow, so far that's the most on your list, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you said mobility. Talking about mobility, Richie from Pep-Boys. If you got to take your car anywhere, now it's not hot, it's cold where we're living. You need heat in your car. If your heat is not working, go see our main man, Richie, at Pep-Boys, Daytona Beach International. Check him out. He'll do anything for you. Just tell him the Locked In Sports Podcast sent you, all right? Pep-Boys. Ben Simmons. I have him winning multiple championships as well, but I don't have him winning 3. I have him winning 2. That's like my number. I couldn't go past 2. I just couldn't do it. That's a spoiler alert, guys. Ben Simmons wins 2, and I don't think he wins any in Philly.
That's what I was.
I'm with you with player mobility, and I guess that's where our 3-2 goes. You think he wins one with Philly? I guess that's spoiler alert in my Joel Embiid. I have him winning 2. If it's not with L.A., he's one of those guys that can maybe go to Houston, and, Chris Paul could be gone, and he could be a mega deal in Houston, and James Harden could be his sidekick. There's multiple teams, guys. How about Dallas? Donovich is awesome. Washington, Boston, if they lose on the Anthony Davis sweepstakes and Kyrie goes to Brooklyn, maybe he can go to Boston and rival LeBron and the Lakers. Hey, anything can happen. Maybe he goes to New York City. Here we go. Ben Simmons, 2 NBA championships. Agree. He will be mobile. He will be like Bane, mobile, and not win a championship. I love that part of the movie. I cracked Max up. I won. Yes. Mobile.
Okay. On that note, oh my God, Joel Embiid, his teammate, I have him winning 1 championship. And before I was going to say, you know what, I don't think he wins a championship with Embiid, but if I go off what I said earlier, Ben Simmons wins 1 championship with Embiid before leaving. I think Embiid is just too talented. You can make the argument he's the best center in the league now. I think if he stays healthy, especially as Ben Simmons as his point guard, with these stars kind of aging, and there's got to be somebody who takes the throne. There has to be that core that's just more dominant than everybody else, with the Warriors aging, with LeBron and Durant, and I think they'll take 1. Okay.
I already said it. I disagree. I think he wins 0. It's a guard league. It's a shooters league. I don't think Ben wins one with in Philly with Joel. So I think Joel gets traded, becomes a Piston, or becomes, just kind of out of the league, out of the championship type of player, puts up a lot of great stats, maybe gets injured a couple years from now. Embiid does not win an NBA championship.
Okay, Dave the Wave. Your first take, Russell Westbrook's best friend, Paul George.
Ooh, Robin to Batman. I got Russell winning 0, so that would be crazy if I think his sidekick would do even better. Paul George does not win a championship.
In agreeance. Number 13, Klay Thompson.
Can I take this one?
Yeah.
Okay, this is one of my most underrated. This is my crazy call of the whole podcast. Klay Thompson wins the most championships out of all these guys on the list. I have Klay Thompson winning 3 NBA championships. This is why. Threefold. 1, he can stay with Golden State, and the dynasty just continues, and they just keep winning. Even if Durant leaves, Klay, Curry, Draymond, they've done it before. They did it with the most wins ever. They win championships in Golden State. Number 2, Klay Thompson goes to the Lakers. How about Klay, LeBron, Kuzma? That would work perfect. LeBron will win multiple championships. Klay can win 1 more this year with Golden State, maybe 2 with the Lakers. That's 3. And my last one, wins 1 with Golden State, and then kind of just trickles around the NBA, team to team to team, mobility, and he wins 1 as the shooter. Wins 1 late in the year like Ray Allen. Just goes to team and becomes the deep threat. Any team that needs a shooter, teams like Houston or Boston, years from now, Philadelphia might need one. Klay will go there, be the assassin. Klay Thompson, 3 NBA championships.
I have 2. 1 for this year And then also, like, as a shooter, there's always a spot on a roster for a shooter. In my book, he's the second greatest shooter of all time already behind Steph Curry. And like you said, like a Ray Allen, like any type of, like, I think he's better, like, he'll be better than Kyle Korver even at older age just because of his IQ.
Oh, yeah.
But he's that type of guy where on a championship team, someone to spread the floor, hit corner shots, hit big-time shots. I have 2 rings, not 3, for Klay Thompson.
Okay. All right, Damian Lillard.
Oh, you skipped my guy Jimmy Buckets.
Oh, let's go with Buckets then.
Jimmy Butler, I believe, goes to Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving. Even if he doesn't go there, I have Jimmy Butler winning 0, Dave. I think he wins 0 because, like we said...
So you think Philly doesn't work?
Yeah. I like their unit, but I don't think it works anymore. I have changed my mindset on it. They may have temporary success, but they're not going to have long-term success. And I think Jimmy Butler... There's only a handful of championships that can get handed out, and we've already gave a lot out already to these players. And I don't think Jimmy Butler succeeds any of them. I don't think he overcomes a Ben Simmons. I don't think he overcomes a Kevin Durant or a LeBron or an Anthony Davis. You name it. I don't think he overcomes them. I think Jimmy Butler is one of those players who will go down as a great two-way player, an all-star, but he'll never win an NBA championship.
100% agree. Folks, I'm 34 years old, so anyone my age, Mitch Richmond. That's who I think Jimmy Butler is. A really good player, great stats, 6, 7-time NBA All-Star. But come on, he's never going to win a championship. I always think he kind of wants to be the man a little bit more than he really is. Him and Kyrie doesn't win in Brooklyn together. I don't think he wins one in Philly. And, man, you never know where he can go. He can go to any team. He's a free agent this year. Jimmy Butler does not win an NBA title.
Okay, number 15 out of 20, Damian Lillard.
0. I thought about this. I almost snuck him a championship. He'll be a free agent in 2 years. He can, for one, I think he will join a good team. I really do. I think he'll be the man enough in Portland and kind of know, hey, I got to win one. So I thought about this for a long time, and he's a great shooter too. So there will be a spot for him in this league for a long time. But Klay, Curry, like you said, I have Kyrie winning championships. There's only so much that can go around. Damian Lillard does not win an NBA title.
Unless you're Steph Curry, I think typically right now it's hard for small point guards to win multiple championships unless you have a great system around you. And with him getting older in 2 years, he can't be the guy anymore. Like you said, there will be a spot for a shooter on any roster, but with small, explosive point guards, they typically don't age as gracefully as others because they fall nonstop. They attack the rim. They're smaller, but he does shoot, which will help elongate his career. But I still have him winning 0, like you just said. There's only a certain amount of championships that can go around. Damian Lillard, 0.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Chris Paul, right now in the Houston Rockets, an NBA Hall of Famer. Does Chris Paul win a title max?
No, I don't believe he does. And Chris Paul, if he stays with Houston, he doesn't. And he may bounce around from team to team as he gets older. Maybe the banana boat theory, but now that's coming to an end. Dwayne Wade's not in the league. Chris Bosh isn't going to be in the league. Carmelo Anthony, we don't know what team he's going to. I don't think Chris Paul ever wins it. I don't think the Lakers want to take someone that's older and maybe expensive, depending on what the case is. I think they like the young nucleus with a big superstar that's young in his prime and LeBron James as your leader. I don't think he ever wins one. I think he goes down as a Hall of Famer, but I don't think he ever wins an NBA championship.
All right. Disagreement here, guys. I have Chris Paul winning an NBA title. He's one of the oldest players on our list, but I think he wins one. Two ways. One, he wins one in Houston. They were so close last year. They can pull it around this year. Injuries can happen that can help them elevate the Houston Rockets into a title this year. Or maybe they come back next year, reload, get another player to help them. Maybe Jimmy Butler goes to Houston, guys, and help them win. But I got Chris Paul winning one. If not here, I think he's great friends with LeBron. I think he's a good friends with multiple players in this league. I think he'll almost go to a team and help a younger player develop into a champion. I think he'll be a mentor to some young players, Zion Williamson, Trae Young, multiple players, maybe a Ben Simmons type, and kind of back him up, player coach. Chris Paul wins a title in his career.
Okay. And now, Dave, we're starting to trickle down to the end of this list. Your guy, Kristaps Porzingis for the New York Knicks.
I know. I can see on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, guys, locked in, INN, locked in. You guys are going to come after me on this one. Kristaps Porzingis wins an NBA championship as a New York Knick. Take that for data.
I disagree. I don't think he wins one. I really don't.
I think Durant comes here, guys. I think Porzingis will definitely... The Knicks have money for a big-time free agent. Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis in 2 years, Kevin Durant this year. I think they get a name. Kyrie Irving, I think they get one. In 3, 4, 5 years, to me, Porzingis will be in his absolute prime. Dirk Nowitzki type in his prime. And like Dirk stole one away from LeBron, I think Porzingis takes one away from Ben or Anthony Davis. Porzingis gets one NBA championship.
Okay, we're down to 19 and 20. John Wall, may I take the floor with this one?
Yes, sir. Take it, buddy.
John Wall is going to go down as one of those players who puts up tremendous stats. He'll drop a lot of assists, but I think he wants to be the man. I think it's more about him over us, and I think John Wall will never win an NBA championship. I don't think he'll ever win one in Washington. I think Bradley Beal may leave. He may leave. And if he goes to another team, he's not a young player anymore. He's now becoming a veteran. He's still explosive. He's not like out of his prime, but he's not the young guy who can just afford years now. So as he gets older, he's ball dominant, and he's not someone who can shoot as well as others, like a Damian Lillard or Kyrie or a Curry. So I don't think he'll age as gracefully, and he needs the ball. So John Wall never wins a championship.
100% ditto. Those 72 words, exactly the same.
Thank you. And lastly, our guy, Jason Tatum.
This is a good one, guys. Small forward from Duke. Had a great rookie year for Boston last year. Took them to the Eastern Conference Finals with all those injuries. I'm hedging. I'm saying he wins one within 10 years. There's a decade in the league is a long time. If Kyrie stays and if Anthony Davis comes there, he wins one. Maybe multiple players leave and then he leaves, joins the Lakers and gets one. I don't know. There's so much time. There's so many places for him to go. He can win one in Boston as the best player maybe. I think Jason Tatum 8 years from now, 9 years from now will have a great NBA career and he wins one NBA championship. That's me hedging.
Okay. I have him winning two, and here's why.
Ooh, okay.
There's a couple things you have to take in consideration. One, just talent level. He's already shown at a young age he's extremely talented, and he grows fast. So you know he'll improve. He has a good work ethic. He has his mind and his head on right. So that's the recipe for success for one. Two, where do you get drafted? What system are you a part of? The Boston Celtics is a rich franchise, has a rich history of success, and has good management, a good front office. So that's definitely working for him.
Great point.
And thirdly, and lastly, in my opinion, if the Warriors dynasty is coming to an ending, I believe the Lakers will get two more, but the Lakers have to play somebody, and I think Boston has a great head coach, arguably the best head coach in the business with Brad Stevens, good management, like I said, with a great history, with a great sports city in Boston, and Jason Tatum's improving, and it's a free agent destination as well as a very smart franchise. I think he gets two.
That's good. I don't argue. I have him winning one, so 2-1. That's very close. Yeah, he's 10 years from now, he's a guy to watch. He's an interesting player to see where he will be at, and if he's a Celtic and who's around him and what team he's on, that's a great one. Jason Tatum.
Guys, this list was amazing.
Holy crap.
I can't wait to look back and see how many we were right.
Out of 20, I'm 18 for 20. Pretty good, right?
That's pretty damn good.
That's pretty damn good. That's crazy, all right? I can't wait. So the number one player you have winning the most championships in the next 10 years, you have Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
The number one player I have winning the most championships within the next 10 years is Klay Thompson. That's, to me, so fun. It's so tricky. They're not right now the best player in the league, and they're almost two different reasons. You have Ben, a lot of mobility, becoming one of the best players. I have Klay staying in Golden State or winning championships as a shooter on the Lakers or a Celtic team.
Which I think happens also. I think Klay wins too. So, I mean, either way, these guys are the future of the NBA.
Yep.
It's so exciting to watch, guys. This podcast is available on any podcast platform, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, you name it. Locked In with two N's. We would love to hear your opinions on what you thought of our list as well as your list.
Yeah, man. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell everyone about the Locked In Sports Podcast.
And like always, guys, stay locked in.